1 in 5 Americans now spend more than half their income on rent. These aren't just numbers, they're families teetering on the edge, one eviction notice away from disaster. We're about to pour gas on this fire, the housing crisis, and it's time to ask ourselves, who gets burned? So what's going on? Why is the dream of owning a home slipping further and further out of reach? Buckle up, because we're about to explore the factors that are pouring gas on this already burning fire. This is Pouring Gas on the Housing Crisis. The American Dream. A house with a white picket fence, a place to raise a family, a symbol of security and success. But for many people, that dream is turning into a nightmare. So what exactly is happening in the housing market? Well, it's a perfect storm of 3 key factors: low inventory, high demand, and rising interest rates. Let's break it down. First, there's simply not enough housing available to meet the current demand. Many people put off buying during the pandemic, and now they're all trying to enter the market at once. This low inventory creates a bidding war situation, driving prices up. Just to illustrate, according to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, national home prices have jumped year over year. That's a huge increase, making it much harder for people to afford a home. This situation is hitting different demographics especially hard. First-time homebuyers, who often have less savings and rely on mortgages, are struggling to compete. Meanwhile, renters are facing skyrocketing rent prices as well, with limited options for finding affordable housing. It's a tough situation all around, and it's only getting worse with the next factor: rising interest rates. The lack of inventory and high demand are bad enough, but there are some additional factors that are really pouring gas on this housing crisis fire. First, we have the rise of corporate investment in the housing market. Large corporations and investment firms are buying up single-family homes at a record pace. These companies have the cash to pay above asking price, further pushing prices up and making it even harder for regular people to compete. This not only reduces the number of homes available for purchase, but it can also turn entire neighborhoods into rental neighborhoods, impacting the sense of community. Another factor is the explosion of short-term rental platforms like Airbnb. While these platforms offer some benefits, they can also have a negative impact on housing availability in popular tourist destinations and busy cities. Landlords are increasingly choosing to list their properties for short-term rentals instead of long-term leases, leading to a decrease in available apartments and houses. This can have a ripple effect, pushing renters out of certain areas and potentially even contributing to rising rents. Finally, we can't ignore the role of outdated zoning laws and regulations. Many areas have zoning restrictions that limit the types of housings that can be built and restrict development to single-family homes. While these regulations might have been put in place with good intentions, they can also make it difficult to build the kind of high-density housing that many cities need. This lack of flexibility contributes to the overall shortage of housing options. These are just some of the factors that are making the housing crisis even worse. We'll later explore some potential solutions, but first, let's take a quick look at the consequences of this situation. The consequences of this housing crisis are severe and far-reaching. The most immediate impact is the rise in homelessness. With rents and home prices skyrocketing, many people are simply priced out of the market. This can lead to displacement, forcing people to move far from their jobs, schools, and support networks. Even those who managed to stay housed are facing immense financial strain, struggling to afford rising rents and mortgages, which can impact their overall quality of life and financial stability significantly. Many renters are struggling to afford their monthly payments, and for aspiring homeowners, the combination of high prices and rising interest rates is making the dream of homeownership seem impossible. This creates a cycle of financial instability and uncertainty, preventing individuals and families from achieving long-term housing security and building wealth. But the impact goes beyond individual struggles. An exacerbated housing crisis can have a ripple effect on the entire economy. When people spend a disproportionate amount of their income on housing, they have less money to spend on other goods and services, which can slow down economic growth. Additionally, a lack of stable housing can lead to social problems like increased crime and decreased community cohesion. It's a complex issue with serious consequences, but there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. Let's explore some potential solutions shortly. The housing crisis is a complex problem, and there are no easy solutions. However, there are some ideas gaining traction that could help alleviate the pressure. First, governments at all levels could offer incentives for developers to build more affordable housing. This could include tax breaks, grants, or streamlined permitting processes, making it easier and more financially viable for developers to invest in projects that provide affordable housing options for low and middle-income families. By making it more financially attractive to build affordable units, we can likely increase the overall supply of housing, thereby bringing prices down for low and middle-income earners. This approach can create a more balanced and accessible housing market, benefiting a wider range of individuals and families. Another potential solution involves discouraging large corporations and investment firms from buying up single-family homes. This could be achieved through regulations that limit the number of single-family homes a single entity can own in a certain area, or by imposing different taxes on such purchases, making it less attractive for these entities to monopolize the single-family home market. The goal here is to level the playing field for individual buyers and prevent corporations from further squeezing out potential homeowners. Finally, we need to take a hard look at outdated zoning regulations. Many communities have zoning laws that restrict the types of housing that can be built, often favoring single-family homes over apartments or mixed-use developments, which limits the availability of diverse housing options and exacerbates affordability issues. Updating these regulations to promote higher-density housing options could help create a more diverse housing market with options for a wider range of incomes. These are just a few ideas, and there's no single solution that will fix everything. However, by working together, we can hopefully find ways to address the housing crisis, implement effective policies, and make the dream of a safe and affordable home a reality for everyone in our communities. Alright, that's a wrap on the factors fueling the housing crisis and some potential solutions on the horizon. We explored the reasons behind the housing crisis: low inventory, high demand, rising interest rates, and additional factors like corporate investment, short-term rentals, and outdated zoning laws. We also discussed the consequences, from homelessness and displacement to financial strain and potential social and economic impacts. Look, there are no easy answers here, but there are ideas out there. By working together, advocating for change, and exploring solutions like affordable housing incentives, discouraging corporate ownership, and reviewing outdated zoning regulations, we can make a difference and help create more equitable and sustainable communities for everyone.